In addition, limited resources, including low stock of pharmaceutical products. This has contributed to rising out-of-pocket expenditure, which now accounts for 24.5% of total health expenditure, according to the 2017 National Health Account Survey. Dr. Ahmadu Lamin Samate, the Gambia's health minister, has been speaking to QTV about the inadequate availability of drugs in public hospitals and health facilities.
Modu, government has committed a lot of resources for the drug procurement in this country. When this government came into office, the general budget for drugs in the previous regime was about $60 million per annum. And even that was not forthcoming. When this government came into office, it was increased to about $100 million. This past year, it was even further increased to 245 million thereabout for drugs.
To gather first-hand information about the problem, we take the Kanifing General Hospital for a case study. Annually, the hospital records more than 200,000 outpatients. Basiru Drame is the CEO of the Kanifing General Hospital.
Availability of the drugs has been a challenge, one way or the other. But nonetheless, we are doing everything possible to ensure that the life-saving drugs are not compromised. Yeah, it's true that sometimes we may not have the other drugs that are prescribed for the patients because we tend to prioritize the list. We cannot provide everything for the patients, looking at what we are actually having from them.
Without an adequate drug supply at hospitals and given the extent to which the population relies on public hospitals, many are forced to buy drugs from pharmacies where they face higher costs. Aminata Toure is an outpatient from the Kanifing General Hospital.
I have been at the hospital since 6 a.m. and it is only now that I am done. But I have been given only 2 of the medicines I need, even though I am informed that I have low blood pressure. This is not right, and I believe that there should be a solution such that we won't have to buy medicines from outside.
Minister Samate explains the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and the Gambia's procurement system, which he said has caused disruption to supply chain of medical products.
Because all drugs have to be imported, the procurement processes are very difficult and tedious. That has affected the supply chain. So there are a number of factors that actually affects the availability of drugs. We are working very hard to resolve it. Some containers have already arrived. They've been cleared from the ports, and some are already at the ports and are being cleared. And government is looking for a solution to this procurement process of drugs.
Already, there's a National Health Insurance Scheme law which requires government to provide free universal health coverage for citizens and residents of the Gambia. Work is now at an advanced stage to roll out the Gambia's first ever National Health Insurance Scheme. Mahmoud Lamin Choy, QTV News.
Now, still in health, accelerating health services delivery to the reach of communities, the Ministry of Health and partners have officially inaugurated the Jabang Health Center on Monday. Ajibintu Drame reports.
This is the first ever health center in the Jabang ward and is something which the people of Jabang have longed for to ease the burden of having to travel far to access health services. Fatu Johnson, chairperson Jabang Village Development Community, thanked partners for their immeasurable efforts, which has resulted in this dream being realized.
We are here to serve the community on purely voluntary basis and therefore wish to encourage all residents of Jabang, more especially the youths, to be united and strongly support the Alcalo and the VDC towards the development aspiration of the community. We are optimistic and equally determined to register more and more progress through partnership with stakeholders and support from the community members.
Accessing health services remains a huge challenge in the Gambia, especially for rural communities. As is tradition, religious and traditional leaders of the community led prayers for a successful and prosperous future for the facility, as well as imploring the staff and the community to maintain the facility. Jürgen Frober, chairperson Together in the Gambia, expressed gratitude to the youth of the community for their work in helping with the construction of the facility.
Now all the efforts have led to this success and the health center is ready. The government has allocated the staff and the HC is prepared for outdoor patients to come, and this week some beds have been delivered, maybe also indoor patients.
Ahmadou Lamin Samate, the Minister of Health, was also there at this important occasion.
Health is important because without health, one cannot be productive. Inaugurating the hospital today means a lot to the government, especially the President, because it is part of development. Jabang will be developed to such a state that the natives, particularly the women and children, will not need to go outside to receive treatment. Plans are underway to also get ambulances, amongst other improvements.
The facility is a joint project which started about 6 years ago by the Jabang VDC, together in the Gambia, a German organization, and Munazamad, an Islamic charitable organization. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Now, 35 butchers commenced 2 days training on Tuesday on good hygiene and the dangers of using chemicals on meat products. The training was organized by the Food Safety and Quality Authority in collaboration with the Youth Empowerment Project YEPT. Loliam Kamara was at the event and filed in this report.
This training follows the discovery in June this year that a hazardous pesticide sniper was being used in drying fish products. This sensitization and training aims to ensure safer food for the public and to avoid a reoccurrence of chemicals being used in our food products. The butchers attending this session are drawn from the Greater Banjul area, Kanifi Municipality and the West Coast region. Modu Jonga, the CEO of Brikama Area Council, implored the butchers to put in extra effort during this training.
We are optimistic that this 2-day training will give you the right knowledge and information on how to handle meat, because what you sell is for public consumption, and it is important that what you sell is free from chemicals. I also want to implore on the participants to transmit whatever you have learned from this 2-day session and transmit it to your colleagues who are unfortunate to be part of this training.
Lamin Jabai, the president of the Gambia Butchers Association, stated that such initiatives are important for butchers.
This is a water course. Any genuine citizen should think of how to contribute to national development. And this has been manifested in this training today. I commend the government of the Gambia through FSQA for this training. Giving someone an opportunity to learn things related to his or her work is important to avoid problems.
Yusufa Suware, admin and HR manager at FSQA, said part of their mandate is to ensure that quality and safe food fit for public consumption are sold in our markets.
This is necessitated by the recent discovery of the usage or application of hazardous chemicals on fish products that are deemed disastrous to the food safety protocols. All this initiative is geared towards ensuring safer food for all. Under the principles of GHP, all consumers have the right to expect and demand for safe food with good quality. A lack of food safety assurance can lead to a serious failure of food businesses, hence possibly destroy the national food sector.
Abdurrahman Jallo, secretary of the Brikama Butchers Association, has been in the meat business for more than a decade, but he is getting such training for the first time.
Food safety,
the Food Quality Authority should be doing more training sessions like this across the country, as it is part of their mandate. Also, bringing butchers together from all regions is laudable. Some of our training will include how to care for the meat from the abattoir to the selling point, and how the shop should look like in terms of cleanliness. Our personal hygiene will help us a lot in our business.
Meat and other food items can be contaminated at any stage during slaughter, processing and storage, amongst other stages. With this 2-day sensitization, it is hoped that butchers come to understand their personal and meat hygiene requirements to improve their businesses. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
And a report there by Loli M. Kamara will lead us to the commercial break, but when we return, we have more local news stories. Do stay tuned.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia,
QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, Gambia's trusted network.
Bank from here and there and here too, here and even here. Introducing the Bloom Digital Suite from Bloom Bank Africa. Web and mobile banking that allows you to bank on the go at your convenience and on your own terms. Check and transfer funds, pay NAWIC bills, buy cash power, buy mobile credit, and so much more. For more information, visit www.bloombankafrica.com or pass by any of our branches nationwide. Download from the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Bloom Digital Web and Mobile Banking on the go from Bloom Bank Africa.
And thanks for staying with us. Be reminded you're watching QTV News and we're broadcasting live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Now, 70 female officers of the Gambia Police Force on Monday began 2 weeks intensive training, United Nations Pre-Selection Assistance and Assessment Team training to enhance their capacities for possible deployment. Alusise reports.
The training is organized through the Office of the Commissioner, the International Affairs Unit of the Gambia Police Force, by Norwegian and Swedish instructors. It forms part of the preparation for possible UN peacekeeping operations deployment, bearing in mind the critical role of women in conflict prevention. The selection of these 70 female officers follows a rigorous assessment. Commissioner Lamin L.K. Bojang, head of the International Affairs Unit of the Police, and Instructor Anne Christine Villegval, Police Superintendent and one of the trainers, said the role of women in UN peacekeeping mission cannot be underestimated. They described women as more prudent in peacekeeping operations.
The women participation in UN peacekeeping cannot be underestimated. Those who've been in that theater knows exactly what it means to have more female participation in UN peace operations. As in every peacekeeping situation, women, children, elderly are the ones who bear the brunt of that conflict. And it is more prudent and more sensitive to have women officers in all aspects of peacekeeping operations because they better understand, they better relay, and they get more information from those vulnerable people that the UN is there to serve.
And you should bring that Gambian way of smiling, of peacefulness, of your experience, and bring that to the people who are waiting for you, who is needing you, and they can't wait to get Gambian role model of female police in the mission area that many of you will be deployed to very soon.
Ramu Sambu, the Commissioner of the Gender and Child Protection Unit, who served in Darfur in 2011, encouraged the participants to make best use of the training. Ibrahim Abba, the Assistant Inspector General of Police, responsible for admin, reminded the participants that the training is just the beginning of a long UN peacekeeping deployment process. He is hopeful of a successful training.
We are advocates of gender mainstreaming, not only in the Gambia Police Force, but globally. And this is why we have a good percentage of female in our police force, more than 40% female. I stand here today proud, seeing female being prepared for peacekeeping deployments. The 2 weeks training you are about to begin today is not a start, a pre-start training. What that simply means, it is to prepare you, to give you the opportunity adequately for that matter, to enable you past the real start, which is you here next month, if I'm right.
The Gambia had and continues to deploy military contingents and police officers for peacekeeping missions, which this group of officers are excited to join after successfully passing the required assessments. Binta Njai, the public relations officer of the Gambia Police Force, moderated the event. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, the National Center for Arts and Culture, in partnership with UNESCO ASPAC program, held a consultative forum with stakeholders in the art industry and an international expert to deliberate the regulations for operating a National Endowment Fund. Ajibintu Drame tells us more.
The National Endowment Fund for Arts and Culture funds promotes and strengthens the creative capacity of the arts communities by providing diverse opportunities for arts participation. This forum will assist the National Center for Arts and Culture in the process of improving the status of artists by operating an endowment fund. Artists from various artistic disciplines attended the event. Hasum Sise, Director General NCAC, says the project is quite important as it will upgrade the economy and social status of Gambia artists from all sectors, from literature, music to filming, craft and photography.
We know, already like a lot of our youth are doing very well in the art sector. So all what they need now is the funding opportunity. And that is what this endowment fund is meant for. It is in the Gambian law. So now what we are here for is basically to elaborate a regulation that will now operationalize this National Endowment Fund for Arts and Culture.
This is Ojomo Ochai, an international expert with UNESCO, who will assist the NCAC in the workings of the endowment fund.
Really here to tell Gambia how to do it. I'm just helping the sector here to think through how they want to do it. So at the end of today's meeting, we'll be able to have some initial ideas of the kinds of criteria, the kinds of things that the fund will support.
As has been shown in developed countries, a national endowment for the arts can have a tremendous impact on the arts and culture, where billions of dollars are spent to bring the arts to communities everywhere. Here is Hasum Sise, the Director General of the NCAC.
I hope from this stakeholder meeting, we will be able to elaborate what activities, the fund it can cover. Air ticket for artists. Album launches for artists. What are the real activities that the fund should be ready, to cover.
The Gambia has a history of validating and not implementing many beautifully crafted initiatives. As such, Hasum Sise says he is hopeful that the project will be implemented as the youth have shown a political will. As an expert, Ms. Ochai states that she is fairly confident the implementation of the project will be realized as the Minister of Tourism has shown commitment, reflecting government's commitment.
Many opportunities in terms of people being able to express themselves, people being able to earn a living. The challenges include access to finance, lack of infrastructure, lack of training and capacity building opportunities, lack of understanding of technology, because technology is changing the way all of these sectors operate.
There are many who would welcome a fully operational endowment fund, including Hadi Nyang, an actress and presenter, who shares her thoughts.
It's important. Surtout si ñun ñi nga xamantene ñu ngi yëngu ci art bi te bo baye xel Gambia mom art bi nekku di dem.
The forum is important, especially for us who have been in the industry for quite a while. Unfortunately, the industry is not going in the direction it should. I can say the progress is one-sided. If you go to other countries, the arts are booming. I have been in the movie industry for a long time now. I am a presenter. It is not easy. It is hoped that after this forum concludes on the 4th of November, tangible progress will have been made towards devising a strategy for implementing a sustainable endowment fund to benefit the Gambia's arts and culture industry. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Some welcoming news there for the arts and culture industry. Now, over 2,000 students from the School of Education at the University of the Gambia are participating in a week-long discussion organized by the Education Students Association on the theme Enhancing Teacher Quality for a Better Education. Suleiman Dabo attended and filed in this report.
The Education Students Association event, dubbed Edusa Week, began on Monday at the University of the Gambia, Brikama campus. After delivering the keynote speech, we engaged Louis Moses Mendy, the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, on teacher quality in our schools.
The starting point would be we work towards eliminating the double shift, which is in our policy by 2030. In that way, we'll be able to accommodate students and extend the contact time.
And when you say 2030, the policy should phase out by the year 2030?
Yes, the double shift should phase out by the year 2030. That's what is in the policy. So we will be working towards ensuring that that is done.
I also had Mr. Jeng, who is the Director of Curriculum at your ministry, talking about this particular curriculum. He said it is ready. I'm not sure if it is available to those you call critics to critique it.
Yeah, that's what is not done yet. It is reviewed.
And what's holding that?
A lot of logistic things need to be done. Remember, when you want to popularize this, we want to go to every possible community in this country to look at it.
This is the first ever EDUSA Week in the association's 12-year history. And the theme chosen for this year's event, enhancing teacher quality for a better education, importantly comes on the heels of recently announced WAS exam results described by many as unsatisfactory. This was the response from Mamadou Seydou Diallo, the president of the Education Students Association, when asked whether the theme of this event was prompted by the unsatisfactory results of the last WAS exams.
Like I said, we are stakeholders in education because we are students and we have been trained to, go and contribute to educational development. So we are stakeholders and we are very much also concerned as far as the results are concerned. So we feel organizing programs of this nature will help us to question, to interrogate what are the missing gaps, how can we contribute to enhance the quality of our education. So yes, it's part of the reasons. Also the other reason is we are a university. A university, you need to have such professional platforms where you can share ideas, where you can discuss. So that's the ultimate objective.
On the development of curriculum and policy at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, the Director of Curriculum, Mamadou Jeng, revealed that a draft curriculum to address the numerous challenges affecting the delivery of quality education to students is already developed and awaits critical review by stakeholders in the education sector. These stakeholders include parents, teachers, and students. Mr. Jeng also challenged the students and potential teachers to prepare for the effective implementation of the various policies developed by his ministry. This event is important because some of these students participating in this one-week discussion are pursuing a degree in education, hoping to be potential teachers in the various basic and secondary schools across the country. Suleiman Dabo for QTV News.
And with that report there by Suleiman Dabo, I'm afraid this is where we draw the curtains on this bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here's a recap for main headlines. How are patients coping when it comes to getting drugs from our hospitals? We spoke to patients and health officials. Well, the Ministry of Health and Partners officially inaugurated the Jabang Health Center on Monday. 35 butchers commenced 2 days training on Tuesday on good hygiene and the dangers of using chemicals on meat products. 70 female officers of the Gambia Police Force on Monday began 2 weeks intensive to enhance their capacities for possible UN deployment. And the National Center for Arts and Culture, in partnership with UNESCO, held a consultative forum with stakeholders in the arts industry and experts to devise regulations for operating a national endowment fund for the arts. That's all for this edition of the news. Do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.